All right, today we're going to dive into a problem that I know drives a lot of teams crazy. Information getting stuck in silos, especially when it comes to quality management. We're going to look at a really powerful way to break those silos down and completely change how your organization communicates.
So let me just start by asking you this. Think about all that crucial quality data your team produces. Test results, approvals, you name it. Is that information actually doing anything for you? Or is it just trapped, sitting inside a dashboard, waiting for someone to remember to log in and go find it? That little delay, it's often a much bigger bottleneck than we think.
And this quote it hits the nail on the head. An approval request sitting unnoticed for 3 days basically makes the whole workflow pointless, right? The whole reason you have a quality system is you take action, and to do it on time. If a critical alert gets lost in the void, the system is fundamentally broken, and that's the exact problem we're trying to solve here.
So here's the bottom line. When quality events are happening in their own little bubble, it creates huge risks. It forces people to constantly manually check for updates. And that just leads to delays, missed approvals, and this constant feeling of playing catch-up when you really need to be proactive.
The fix for this is a pretty fundamental shift in how we think about our tools. We've got to move away from a passive quality management system, a place you have to go to get information, and move towards an active one. A system that actually pushes the important updates directly into the tools your team is already living in every single day.
So how does this all actually happen? How is it even possible? Well, let's pull back the curtain and get into the nuts and bolts of how something like QAtrial's webhooks can build this super connected, real-time workflow. This is where it gets really cool. It all starts with events. And in this system, we're not just talking about 1 or 2 triggers. We're talking about 14 distinct quality events that can kick off a notification. 14! That covers pretty much the entire quality lifecycle, making sure that absolutely nothing important falls through the cracks.
And what's really amazing is just how much ground these categories cover. I mean, we're talking about everything from the very moment a new requirement is written to the instant a test fails, all the way to a CAPA status changing or an electronic signature getting applied. This kind of coverage means every single critical step can fire off an instant automated alert.
But hold on, how can you actually trust these notifications? I mean, especially if you're in a regulated industry, right? Well, that's where security becomes non-negotiable. Every single webhook is signed using something called HMAC SHA 256. You can just think of it as a cryptographic digital seal. It guarantees that the message is authentic and that it hasn't been messed with in transit. And get this isn't some optional add-on, it's mandatory. It's pretty simple, really. QAtrial uses a secret key to sign the message. It sends that signature right along with the notification, and then your system uses that same secret key to check it. That's what gives you the rock-solid integrity you need for critical quality records.
Okay, it is super important to clear something up here. Webhooks are not the same thing as full-blown integrations. The best way to think about it is this. A webhook is like a doorbell. It just rings to let you know something happened. It's a one-way alert. A true integration, on the other hand, is more like a two-way radio, allowing for a constant back-and-forth conversation to keep data in sync. They do different jobs, but they work great together. So enough of the theory. What does this actually look like day to day? Let's walk through some practical, real-world examples. This is where you can really see the magic of connecting all your tools together.
Okay, so imagine this. A critical test fails. Instead of somebody having to find that in a report hours later, the system instantly fires off a webhook. Literally seconds later, a notification with all the important details pops up right in your team's Slack channel. Just like that, the information lag is gone. The QA team knows what happened right when it happened.
Or how about this one? A deviation happens, and a new CAPA, a corrective action, is created. Instantly, the quality manager gets a ping in Microsoft Teams. They can see exactly what's going on with CAPAs in real time without having to be glued to their QMS dashboard all day. It brings the information to them.
And hey, remember that whole problem with the approval request sitting there unnoticed? Well, this workflow just completely kills that problem. An approval is requested, it triggers a webhook, and that webhook talks to an automation tool like Zapier. Zapier then automatically builds and sends a detailed email straight to the approver's inbox. Problem solved. Now, as you can see, webhooks are a total game changer for getting real-time alerts. But honestly, that's just scratching the surface. Let's touch on how this idea of being connected can lead to even deeper, more powerful integrations that go way beyond simple notifications.
Yeah, we're talking about a true quality ecosystem. With dedicated integrations, you can have a full two-way sync between your quality requirements and your Jira issues, so everyone is always on the same page. You can link GitHub pull requests directly to those requirements, giving you perfect traceability. You can even automatically import your CI/CD test results and make them part of your formal quality records. This completely closes the gap between development and quality.
So when you put it all together, the transformation is really night and day. You go from the old way, manually checking dashboards and hoping you don't miss something, to the new way of getting automated real-time alerts. Information stops being isolated and starts flowing right into your workflow. And best of all, you shift from just reacting to problems to proactively responding to events as they happen.
And I'll just leave you with this final thought to chew on. As you think about your own processes, ask yourself, what is the true cost of a missed notification in my world? I'm not just talking about risk. I mean in actual dollars and days. A delayed approval, a critical bug that slips by for a few extra hours. These things slow you down, they increase costs, and they can even delay an entire launch. Connecting your systems isn't just a nice to have. It's a real competitive advantage.